I don't know why I don't have a hat. Hello and welcome to my second episode of What's That Char. Today I have a work labs for you that I will talk about. So here we go through the character. Today we're gonna talk about Freakazoid. This character reminds me kind of Jim Carrey in the movie The Mask. Is the same kind of freak personality with weird jokes, and yeah, I like it really much. The show was created, it was premiered in 1995. Can you imagine? 23 years old? How old I am, oh my god. It was 24 episodes in total, and that's it. So let's jump into actual work labs. As always, I'm working with two poses already sketched for the characters. So with that, I'm able to just clean up those two poses, and then I'm moving to in-betweens, and I'm setting one pose in between where the character usually have closed eyes, closed mouth, and that happened as well in this character, which is Freakazoid. As you can see, I'm quickly trying to set everything up. I created 4 layers with the base, which will contain the face, the shadow on the face, ears, and the hair with those zigzags, which is Freakazoid known for, I guess. So 4 layers, all layers will be in between, and I can put everything on the layers that I need, clean up drawings. So I'm creating the base, I'm creating the mouth, I'm also creating the nose in a second with the eyes. It's pretty straightforward at that point, because at first I have to redraw everything, redraw my poses. For that series, I'm always using pencil lines with 14 size, and I want to stick to that because I want to stay consistent within this series. Once I have one pose, I can extend exposure and create next exposure for each layer, and with that I'm able to create the second pose, which is that exaggerated pose. I'm able to create it much faster because I have lots of the drawings already done, so more or less I just have to tweak them. And because the eyes and the shape, the mask, is stretched a lot, I had to move the hairline up and down with the eyes, and also those zigzags with the ears. So I'm usually not touching pupils, I like them in one place, but for this character, because of the mask here was squashed and stretched, not just the eyes, I decided to move them just a little, and I believe it was a good idea because with everything it feels a little more consistent. I don't know why I don't have a hat. So as you can see, I'm putting the next key pose, which is that middle one where I have closed eyes, closed mouth. I'm pretty much ready to go to do some in-betweens for Freakazoid character. As you can see, it's pretty fast process once I have established 3 key poses for the character. So I'm creating those blink of the eyes, so I'm closing them, reusing as many of the shapes as I can, using just lines, cutters with rounded tip of every line to not change it later. It's a good thing to remember to change it before you will use the cutter, because it's by default used on that straight line. So sometimes it hurts when you have to select everything and round the tips. Mouth, pretty straightforward shape. With this I can just reuse the tips, the line for the tips that's inside, place them, and there you have the mouth established. Then moving on to the next one, I can take the previous frame before the closed mouth, reuse it, tweak it just a little, starting to open the mouth, and I just have to create two more in betweens with a little more closed, and then I'm reusing the opened mouth, that crazy one, and then I can delete all the lines that I don't need, and now it's pretty much done. Then I can move straight into the base layer with the hair, because I want to stay consistent with the mask, as I said before. So I'm focusing on that shadow. Then once I've established the shadow, I can move to the ears, because I moved them just a little to have that kind of motion that you can only feel, not see. While that is done, I can color everything. And at this point I know it's already done, because all the hard part is already done. I can move to just make it more squashy. I'm using that this is just a little tip for you. When I'm copying and pasting blocks of exposures, I'm using paste reverse, so it's like shift period, I believe. So the selection of the, you can see it right now, the selection of the exposures will be copied and pasted in reverse, so I don't have to do crazy things. You just copy and paste reverse. That option is insane. And I'm using pretty much the same motion for each part of the face, for every character kind of. It's like 5 in-betweens. On first one is squashed and stretched just a little for the closed eyes, for example, and then it's stretched, and then it's just a little bounce here and there. And that motion with a little eases creates cool animation. With that being said, that's it for Freakazoid. I hope you like it. I hope you learned something, and see you on the next character. Here you have Freakazoid. I'm here, and see you.